place to meet and 12 people going to show up, you know, I understand an event
I think
and a
the-
party.
The thing
and
is that if they want to have something here, usually there's someone here, so we don't have to, there's, you know, other offices in the building that could open and close. For a special after hours, we'd have to actually send someone up there to open, close.
Okay.
and-
But maybe that would be, I mean, you do have people there during the day, though, I think, right?
Right, same here.
And we have allowed many groups to meet during the
Yeah,
day.
that's what I'm saying, is that, but now there would be a third, so, you know, you have a meeting for 2 hours, and it's, you know, 10 people, and it's $60.
I guess to mostly listen, so I think that's an excellent comment.
Okay. So,
Sorry, Deputy, did you want?
No, I just want to let you know that also one of the local baseball associations also uses the conference room to for meetings. So I think it's something that's something that can be extended without having it in writing. Where it's a municipal building, we have some room, and if it's available, you can use it.
Yeah.
Well, I
I
just
mean,
want
that's
to be,
same
I
for
want to
here.
be, I want to be clear. This is these it's on the paper here.
Mhm.
These are recommendations from the staff to the board and from the staff to the community.
Yeah.
And so nothing's been decided yet, and so these are all very, very helpful questions.
Well,
to
this is
think
just,
about.
you know,
Yep.
I mean, and this has been going on for a while, and
Yep.
I do believe that any intensive use, has, the town as a whole should be compensated for it, because the wear and tear on that building, and,
Yep.
you know, it's not going to stand forever. And, I mean, there was the Rye Brook soccer team, whoever was up first, and they said, well, they're paying Rye Brook for their fields because in 2 years or whatever, it's going to cost $1.5 million. Well, Crawford Mansions doesn't stand forever. It's going to cost money to maintain it,
Sure.
and if not down the line, to rebuild it. So, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, thank you. Other questions, comments from the public? Please, yep, please, yep.
Just one other, it's a policy question more than it
Yep.
is a question about necessarily the money situation.
Yep.
As you all know, when we hold performances at Crawford Park or concerts or whatever the case may be, oftentimes we are required to schedule that way in advance. And in the past, we've had a number of times where we have been contacted and told that a party wants to book a date that we had already booked. I would like to ask you that those of us that are doing these productions and things there, be offered the opportunity to compensate the town for whatever they would have gained in revenue from a party, and allow us to solidly book dates. Because it's very difficult to be planning a production and then midstream have somebody tell you can't have Friday night anymore.
Yeah, right, sure.
So I would appreciate it if, and don't get me wrong, I think that that's a fair request.
Is there a way on our website to put this on the website and get comments?
Yes, I would say yes to that question.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Colangelo. That's another good suggestion. I guess it would be nice to have the policy on the web and have people, because I think that we're getting a lot of very, very positive feedback, a lot of very constructive feedback this evening. It would be kind of nice if we could structure it to have people be able to provide comments. Yes,
Mr. Supervisor, both the policy, obviously, but also the calendar, like you do at a hotel. If you're booking a hotel online, check available rates, check available days, and I'm sure that we've come that far. We're probably maybe a keystroke away from having that happen. You go online. You know what? I'd like to see if June is available, and whatever it may be. You plug it in. If the box is dark, you know what? You got to move your events. But that's a great idea, Joe.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Good. Other comments, questions from the public? Okay, so we don't have our town attorney here, but what I want to... I know he's nice. I think he's pattering. He's giving it. So I want to close this public hearing.
No, you want to.
But what I want to do, I want to keep it open. But how do I keep it?
You want to adjourn it?
We'll
We're going to
adjourn
adjourn
Okay.
the public hearing to the January. What's the date? January 18th meeting.
Okay,
So I'll make that in the form of a motion.
Can I get a second of the motion to adjourn the public hearing?
Gelfarb.
Aye.
Mendocino.
Aye.
Myoris.
Aye.
Villanova.
Yes.
Carver.
Aye. Good. Okay, so that meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, Deputy Supervisor Villanova, till January. Okay, now the second public hearing we have this evening is on the budget. So can I get a motion to open the public hearing on, or did we have it, well, reopen the meeting, public hearing on the budget?
So
We
moved.
didn't close it, actually.
Right, so reopen
You're
it?
opening the adjourned public hearing.
So
I'm
moved.
opening the adjourned public hearing, thank you. So I'll have that down for next time.
So moved.
Second.
Second?
Gilpin.
Aye.
Mendocino.
Aye.
Nyors.
Aye.
Villanova.
Yes.
Sarcos.
Yes. Any comments, questions from the public on the preliminary budget? I know we had a hearing on this before, so all, no other comments, questions on the budget? Okay, now, comments, question on the budget? Please.
Is there a projection if you change the revenues on Crawford that, I mean, we talked about this before, how
It's not
insignificant.
sufficiently significant to have any real material impact.
Okay, I mean, because your budget isn't that big, so,
Yeah, but there's the Crawford
$50,000 here
Park
is $50,000 there.
Right.
Okay, I would like to comment that the best line on this budget is the supervisor's line. It's zero across the board. And
Thank
also,
you.
I'm glad you corrected the mistake on the outside accountant.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Any other comments, questions from the public? Please. Please just, yeah.
Culture and recreation. At Crawford Park? Page 2.
Oh, please, Mr. Rigo, could you just restate, you did it earlier. Can you just
My name is
restate
Frank
your name?
Arrigo. I live at Birch Street, Portchester, New York.
Yep. So, which, you're looking at the
Page 2.
parks?
Page 2. It says
Yep.
culture and recreation.
Yep.
Is that Crawford Park?
It's, yes, it is.
Okay, because it's kind of confusing.
Yeah, sorry, with good question. It is Crawford Park.
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 Partly.
No, the Rye-Town Park is not in here, is it? I thought it was someplace else. Dave, as I understand, the Rye-Town Park's in a different area.
Recreational facilities.
2.
Page 2 right here.
Yeah, page 11 is Rye-Town Park.
Page 2 includes Crawford Park, but it also includes youth program celebration.
Oh, yeah, but
And Rye-Town Park, so their page 11 is.
I guess with the question, I assume the question was, is Rye-Town Park incorporated in here? And the answer is no, if that was what the question was. Rye-Town Park is separate on page 11.
That's right,
The cost of Crawford Park is basically $316,299 this year.
So that's just Crawford Park, 316.
Yep.
Special recreational facilities and things like that. What
That's
is,
Rye-Town Park, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's Rye-Town Park, that line.
The special recreational facility, exactly.
youth programs?
Or youth programs.
That can be done
Well,
Like-
either beach or here?
They can be done anywhere in the town.
Anywhere in the town.
Okay, and the celebrations like sponsoring
Yeah, the fireworks, the
fireworks and
4th
stuff
of
like
July.
that.
Right.
Well, I'm just for like Mr. Abel would say, for next time, because it is confusing when you lump them all together.
So you're right.
See, they're
That's
lumped
a
all
good.
together on the second page.
What
but
we
if
should
you
really
go-
say is Crawford Park. When we say parks, that's a very good point. Thank you
Because
for that.
the average person
You're
can't
absolutely
tell
right.
which was Oakland Beach or Crawford Park.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Dave,
And
if
I don't
you
know if
could,
the salaries are...
Did you
If
get
you
that?
go to
broken out.
page 11, then it breaks it out, Frank. Or it actually starts on, page 11 and continues on to page 12, and it breaks out all of those things that are on page 2.
Yeah, okay, you got sprinkler systems. The beach has sprinkler systems and Crawford has sprinkler systems. So how do you know which ones are from where?
Because this is our budget, and this isn't the Rye-Town Park budget.
the Rye-Town Park budget is a whole separate budget.
yeah,
And our expectation is we're going to have to finance $25,000 shortfall at Rye-Town Park next year. So you don't, there's none of the costs or revenues, costs, expenses
Are
at Rye-Town
shown
Park
here.
are shown here.
Okay.
We have that available if you want.
No, it's just confusing if you
No, it's
don't
very fair.
see it listed in back and forth.
We should make it more clear.
Two-
Yep, that's very fair. We should make it more clear it's Crawford Park. Yep, thank you. Sorry, did you want to say that?
no, I just wanted to try to clear for the
No, actually, we should put Crawford Park, because that's all it is. Any other questions, comments from the public on the budget? Please. Yep.
What page?
10. Can you explain to me who is or what is a project coordinator under special items?
Yeah, that's primarily Greg Arcaro, I think. Is that right, Bishop?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Arcaro is, well, basically, he's the person that's helping us with the Rye 350, and basically anything that's outside the normal operations of the town, he's basically handled, and he's supporting the town in a number of different initiatives. So the 2012 report on expenses and cost, he was basically responsible for doing it. The Rye 350 celebrations, he's the African Cemetery, our Model American Community. So he basically that's the principal cost there. We've got 40,000, 30,000 is Mr. Arcaro, and then another 10,000 for miscellaneous.
Okay, because last year's actual was 22,000. So
Yeah.
this year's almost doubled.
Well, what happened, if you remember, we originally had John Goodwin, and he resigned.
But, okay, so what was his title?
It was the same title.
There was a gap.
Okay.
There was a
So
gap.
you didn't have somebody for part of the year? Okay.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Okay,
Yeah,
I get it.
exactly.
Okay, and originally, I mean, I gather the original, the adopted budget of 2010 showed that there was somebody else there for $2,500, but it was never expended? Is that what?
I think that may have been...
Because it's another project.
No, yeah, I think that was the intern. Was that the intern, Joe?
But yes, I think it was.
But
We had
I
an
just-
intern for 2 summers ago.
Yeah, and obviously it's not there this year.
Basically, what we're trying to do, Mr. Arcaro doesn't get expenses, so we're really trying to support the town efforts on as economic a basis as possible. So we used the intern exactly right 1 year, and
No, it's
project coordinator.
just one of the larger jumps that, that jumped out at me, literally. That, it went from 22, and I didn't know it was part of the year, to 40. And actually, it was originally, but it was budgeted for 57 last year.
Yes.
Okay, I get it. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. Other questions, comments from the public? Please.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm glad Mr. Noto's here because he may be able to help me out on this.
Sorry,
I'm looking at
Mr.
page...
Busen, could you just say your name and...
Dr. Richard Busen, 6 Mark Drive, and I'm in Rye Brook. Page 8, under law, I believe it should say personnel service, but it says personal services. Maybe it is personal services, but I won't even go there.
Am I looking at page 7? Okay, got it.
Okay. Under attorney, the actual expenditures for 09 was 81. The actual expenditures through 10/31/10 is 64,625, but as I see it budgeted for next year, we're down to 50,429. Now, my assumption, if you carry out the 64,625 to 12 months, it's probably going to be in the $70,000 to $72,000 range. And we're budgeting 50,000, which is about a 25% drop.
I think you're, were you looking at, what actuals are you looking at? You're looking
The
at
actual for this under second column, year-to-date,
is there a different is this the
10/31/10.
document here?
Yeah.
Is this one?
Yeah.
Let me look. I think it includes the CERT money. Yeah, the line item budget, let's see, what page, John?
It's 8.
8, okay. The salary for the town attorney is $50,429.
Right.
That's just the salary.
Okay.
And that was last year, and it's remaining next year, so they're not giving the town attorney a raise. We'll discuss that some other time, I guess. Anyway, the town pay when we do the in-rems, we charge the delinquent taxpayer a fee. I think it's $400 per in-rem, and they pay the receiver of taxes, and then the town pays me that. So it looks like I'm getting this more from the town, but it's actually not. It's
Okay,
coming from the-
but that is not on the other line where we have other legal counsel.
Yeah, other legal counsel
That is completely
CERT.
separate.
That's totally separate.
That's-
Those are the
that's-
attorneys we
that's
hire
CERT
for
attorneys.
CERT. Yeah. The only other attorneys we hire are Aldo Vitigliano, Mark Toulis, and Jeff Binder, who do the CERT work. And then we have an assistant, like a prosecutor, and that's Martha McCarty.
Right.
So the difference is, it's, while the check is